Have you ever noticed the strange contradiction in how we live today? We say we are exhausted. We say we want nothing more than a simpler life, a quiet mind, a moment to just breathe and be still. But the second we are handed that empty space, we panic. We immediately fill it. We grab our phones. We turn on the television. We find a new problem to worry about, or an old conversation to replay in our heads. We desperately crave peace, yet we run away from silence. Why? Because true quiet can be terrifying. It is the only place where we are forced to finally meet ourselves without any distractions. If you have ever felt constantly overwhelmed, caught in a draining cycle of seeking rest, but never actually resting, this is for you. Stay until the end, because understanding this hidden pattern may change the way you respond to every frustration, big or small, for the rest of your life. Buddhist wisdom speaks deeply about the nature of this restless mind. It is often called the monkey mind, swinging relentlessly from branch to branch, from thought to thought, always seeking a new distraction, always looking for a new problem to solve. We think we are protecting ourselves by staying busy, by constantly consuming the noise of the world. But in Buddhist thought, this constant seeking is a subtle form of suffering. It is a refusal to be present with what is actually happening right in front of us. Imagine a glass of water scooped directly from a turbulent, muddy river. If you constantly shake the glass, moving it nervously from place to place, the water will remain cloudy. You will never be able to see through it. But if you simply set the glass down on a quiet table and leave it alone, something beautiful happens. You do not have to force the dirt down. You do nothing at all. And yet, the mud slowly sinks to the bottom on its own. The water naturally becomes clear. Peace does not require force. It requires stillness. Think about your own daily routine. How often do you promise yourself a quiet evening, only to spend it scrolling through endless feeds, consuming other people's lives, arguments, and dramas? We complain about the heavy noise of the modern world, but we willingly invite it into our bedrooms, our morning coffees, and our lonely commutes. We have convinced ourselves that doing nothing is a waste of time, or worse, we secretly fear that if we stop moving, our deeper anxieties will finally catch up to us. Ask yourself, what are you trying to drown out with all this noise? What are you afraid you will feel if the room goes completely quiet? The next time you find yourself with an empty minute waiting, in line, sitting in your car before going inside, waking up just before the alarm, do not instinctively reach for a distraction. Pause, breathe, just sit. Let the silence be there. Let the emptiness surround you. It may feel deeply uncomfortable at first. Let it. Observe the urge to escape without acting on it. You are not missing out on life by being still. You are finally arriving for it. You do not need to fill every corner of your existence to feel whole. But recognizing this habit is only the first step. To truly embrace the quiet, we must first understand the hidden fear that drives us away from it. Because beneath every distraction is a quiet truth waiting to be acknowledged, and this is where the next truth begins. 2. Why we are so afraid of the empty space. What if the emptiness you are trying so desperately to escape is the only place where true healing can happen? Here is the truth we rarely admit. We do not just like noise, we rely on it. We use it as an emotional shield. Think about the moments when you are suddenly alone, a weekend afternoon with no plans, a cancelled meeting, a quiet drive home. Instead of feeling relief, a strange, creeping unease often sets in. The mind begins to wander, and it rarely wanders to peaceful places. It goes to old mistakes. It drifts to future worries. It replays criticisms and whispers doubts about your worth. To stop this uncomfortable inner dialogue, we immediately turn on a screen, send a text, or find a chore to do. we drown out the inner whisper with external shouting. Buddhist wisdom teaches that suffering multiplies when we practice aversion. Aversion is the habit of pushing away what we do not want to feel. We think that by ignoring our pain, our fear, or our loneliness, we are starving it. But Buddhism reminds us that whatever we resist persists. When we constantly run from the quiet, we give our internal fears immense power over us. The empty space is not the enemy. The empty space is simply a mirror, reflecting exactly what is already inside us. Imagine living in a beautiful, sprawling house, but there is one locked door at the end of the hallway. You know something uneasy is behind that door. So you spend your entire life avoiding that part of the house. You play loud music. You invite guests over constantly. You keep the television blaring so you do not have to hear the faint knocking coming from the other side of the wood. But living this way takes an incredible amount of energy. You are never truly resting. You are simply exhausted from the lifelong effort of ignoring the door. In modern life, this locked door holds our unprocessed emotions. We use work stress, social obligations, and endless digital scrolling as our loud music. We tell ourselves we are just busy, driven, or staying connected. But secretly, many of us are just running. We fear that if we sit in the silence, the sadness will consume us. We fear that if we stop moving, we will suddenly realize we are walking in the wrong direction. Think about your own life. When your room is finally quiet, where does your mind go? What is the uncomfortable thought you are running from when you reach for a distraction? What are you afraid will happen if you simply sit and let the silence wash over you? Try this simple practice today. When you return home, before you turn on any lights or music, sit on a chair. Do not look at a screen. Just sit in the quiet for 2 uninterrupted minutes. Let the thoughts come. If anxiety rises, let it rise. If sadness surfaces, let it surface. Do not fight the feeling, and do not try to fix it. Just watch it, like clouds drifting across the vast, open sky of your mind. You will find that the feeling cannot hurt you. It is only an echo. And echoes eventually fade when we stop shouting back. But to truly let go of this fear, we must confront the biggest lie the world has taught us. The belief that constant motion is what protects us. 3. The illusion that constant action equals safety. What if the harder you swim, the faster you sink? Here is a truth few people want to face. Our obsession with constant action is not always ambition. Often, it is simply fear in disguise. We have been conditioned to believe that as long as we are moving, we are safe. We pack our schedules, rush from task to task, and measure our worth by our daily output. We think that if we control every detail, reply to every message instantly, and stay endlessly busy, we can outrun failure, judgment, and uncertainty. We treat stillness as laziness and emotional exhaustion as a badge of honor. But this relentless motion leaves us brittle. The moment a plan changes, we panic. The moment we are forced to wait, we suffer. One of the deepest lessons of Buddhism is the understanding of non-attachment and the illusion of control. We attach ourselves to the belief that our constant meddling keeps our world from falling apart. We secretly think our worry prevents bad things from happening. But Buddhism reminds us that the world moves according to its own nature. Trusting the flow of impermanence means accepting that you cannot manage every variable. True security is not found in endless doing, but in deep, grounded presence. Imagine a person caught in the rough waters of a dark lake. In their desperate fear, they thrash their arms. They kick violently, expending every ounce of energy trying to conquer the water. But the violent thrashing only exhausts them, pushing them further below the surface. It is only when they stop fighting, when they relax their muscles and lay back, that the water naturally holds them up. The water was never the enemy, the frantic resistance was. They had to stop fighting the current in order to float. This is exactly how we live our daily lives. We thrash through our work stress, our relationship conflicts, and our endless lists of obligations. When a problem arises, when we feel ignored, when we face a sudden setback, when we feel behind in life, we immediately try to force a solution. We send an angry message. We obsessively overthink late into the night. We grip the steering wheel tighter. We exhaust our spirits, trying to control the uncontrollable, terrified that if we stop fighting for even 1 second, everything we have built will collapse. Ask yourself, what are you fighting right now that you simply need to float through? Think about your own life. How much of your daily exhaustion comes from the actual work you are doing, and how much comes from your anxious resistance to what simply is? The next time you feel the panic to act immediately, stop, pause, breathe. Notice where you are holding tension in your body. Let your shoulders drop. Stop trying to force the door open. Do your part. Put in your sincere effort and then release the outcome. You do not have to hold the sky up by yourself. Because true safety is not found in controlling the storm. It is found in realizing you can remain still while the storm passes. But when we first stop this frantic momentum, our minds can feel raw and unprotected. Suddenly, the most minor inconveniences begin to deeply bother us. And this is where the next truth begins. 4. How small frustrations steal our center. What if the greatest threat to your inner peace is not a massive life crisis, but a slow internet connection, a delayed train, or an unread message? Here is the truth few people want to face. We are remarkably resilient when massive tragedies strike. We gather our strength, we survive. Yet, we allow our entire day to be completely ruined. Because someone cut us off in traffic, or because a coworker sent a slightly dismissive email, we snap at the people we love over misplaced keys. We let tiny, insignificant moments drain the quiet strength we have worked so hard to cultivate. In Buddhist thought, this disproportionate suffering comes from our immediate reactivity. Buddhism reminds us of a teaching often called the 2 arrows. When something frustrating happens, a sudden cancellation, a spilled cup of coffee, a harsh word, that is the first arrow. It is painful, yes, but it is a natural part of life's impermanence. The deep suffering, however, comes from the second arrow. The second arrow is our reaction. It is the anger, the complaining, the bitter story we tell ourselves about how the universe is against us or how unfair life is. We shoot this second arrow into our own hearts, and we shoot it so quickly that we do not even realize we are holding the bow. Imagine a small drop of dark ink. If you let this drop fall into a tiny teacup, the water instantly turns black. It becomes undrinkable. The entire environment is ruined. But if you take that exact same drop of ink and let it fall into a vast, deep lake, what happens? Nothing. The lake remains perfectly clear. The ink simply dissolves into the vastness of the water. The size of the drop did not change. The size of the vessel did. When we fill our lives with constant noise and endless rushing, our minds become like that fragile teacup. We have no empty space left. We are emotionally exhausted, running on empty, trying to force every detail of our day to go perfectly. So when a small drop of frustration falls, a partner forgetting a small chore, a social media post being ignored, a sudden change of plans, it completely darkens our mood. Our mind is too crowded to absorb the shock. We lose our temper. We lose our center. Think about your own life. When was the last time you lost your peace over something that truly did not matter? Why does a single careless action from a stranger have the power to ruin your entire morning? Was it really the event that broke you, Or was it because you were already living on the very edge of exhaustion? The next time a minor inconvenience strikes, do not shoot the second arrow. Pause, breathe, observe the thought without following it. Look at the spilled coffee, look at the heavy traffic. Remind yourself, this is just the first arrow. Let the feeling of frustration rise without making it your identity. You do not have to fight it, but you do not have to become it either. You are not powerless. You can choose to expand your mind into a vast lake rather than living as a fragile teacup. You do not have to let a single passing cloud darken your entire sky. But expanding that mental space requires something very specific. It requires breaking the rigid cycle of instant reaction in the exact split second the frustration hits. And this is where the next truth begins. 5. The sacred pause of one honest breath. What if the most powerful thing you can do in a moment of anger is absolutely nothing? Here is the truth few people want to face. We are deeply addicted to our own reactions. When someone criticizes us, when a plan falls apart, or when we feel misunderstood, a sudden fire sparks in our chest. We feel an overwhelming urge to respond, to defend ourselves, to prove we are right, or to fix the situation immediately. We furiously type out a defensive message. We snap back with a sharp word. We let our pride take the wheel, convinced that reacting quickly makes us look strong and in control. But this rapid, blind reaction does not show strength. It shows captivity. We become prisoners to our own impulses. Buddhist wisdom teaches that between any event and your reaction, there is a space, and in that space lies your entire freedom. One of the deepest lessons of Buddhism is that we cannot control the changing winds of the world, but mindfulness allows us to control how we stand in them. By simply pausing before we act, we break the endless chain of suffering. We step out of our conditioning and step into awareness. We learn to observe the urge to fight without actually throwing a punch. Imagine a single lit candle in a quiet room. Suddenly, a sharp gust of wind blows through an open window. The flame flickers wildly. It leans, it bends, it dances frantically, fighting to stay alive against the invisible rush of air. If you panic and try to grab the flame to steady it, you will only burn your hand. If you blow on it to fight the wind, you will extinguish the light yourself. But if you do nothing, if you simply wait and let the wind pass, the air will eventually settle. The flame will naturally return to standing tall, completely still, bright and unbroken. We treat our daily conflicts like that sudden gust of wind, an argument with a partner, an unfair comment at work, the heavy pressure of someone else's expectations. These are all winds blowing into your mind. Our instinct is to panic, to fight the wind, to grasp at the flame. We think we have to prove our worth instantly, or we will be diminished. We believe that if we do not reply to a slight immediately, we are weak. But reacting from panic only creates more chaos. Ask yourself, how many times has your immediate, fiery reaction actually brought you peace? Think about your own life. Think about the words you wish you could unsay, or the days you ruined because you could not simply let a careless comment blow past you. What are you defending so fiercely? The next time the wind blows, try this simple practice. Do not speak. Do not type. Do not walk away in anger. Take one honest breath. Inhale deeply, feeling the air fill your lungs. Exhale slowly, releasing the tension in your jaw. Let the heat in your chest rise. Let it peak, and let it begin to cool. This single breath is the sacred pause. It is the bridge between acting out of fear and responding out of wisdom. Because true strength is not the ability to fight back quickly. True strength is the ability to watch the urge to fight fade away into nothing. But practicing this stillness is not always easy when the world around us demands constant noise. And this is where the next truth begins. 6. Cultivating quiet strength in a loud world. What if quietness has nothing to do with the world around you, and everything to do with the world inside you? Here is the truth we often misunderstand about seeking a simpler life. We think we need to escape to a mountaintop to find true peace. We constantly daydream about walking away. We fantasize about deleting our social media, leaving our stressful jobs, or moving to a quiet house in the middle of nowhere. We have convinced ourselves that the endless demands of our family, the pressure to succeed, and the constant digital notifications are what drain our spirits. We blame our loud environment. We blame the people around us. But the harsh reality is this: when we finally get that quiet weekend away, the noise simply moves from the outside in. We bring our frantic minds with us. Buddhist wisdom teaches that true sanctuary is never built from physical silence. It is cultivated within the mind. The practice of non-attachment is not about aggressively eliminating the noise of the world. That is impossible, and trying to do so only creates more frustration. Instead, Buddhism reminds us to change our relationship to the noise. It is the deep realization that you can be completely surrounded by chaos without letting the chaos inside you. Imagine the vast, deep ocean during a violent hurricane. On the surface, it is pure destruction. The waves crash fiercely, the wind howls, and the water thrashes in panic. If you only look at the surface, you would believe the entire ocean is at war. But if you dive down, deep below the surface, what do you find? Absolute, unbroken silence. The deep ocean remains heavy, still, and entirely undisturbed by the frantic energy above. The depths do not fight the storm. They simply possess a quiet strength the storm cannot reach. We live almost entirely on the fragile surface of our lives. A critical email from a boss, a friend who ignores our text, the constant pressure of comparison when we look at our screens. These are the winds that whip up our surface waves. We let the external pressure to constantly perform pull us directly into the storm. We exhaust ourselves trying to control the wind, desperately trying to smooth out the surface of the water, when all we needed to do was sink deeper. Think about your own life. Are you living on the shallow surface of your emotions, where every passing inconvenience has the power to throw you off balance? Ask yourself, what would happen if you stopped trying to control the storm around you and simply anchored yourself in your own depths? The next time the world feels relentlessly loud, do not try to forcefully silence it. Let the phones ring, let the traffic roar, let the demands swirl around you. Pause. Breathe deeply into your center. Sink beneath the surface. Observe the noise without inviting it into your heart. Let the storm pass without becoming the storm. You do not need an empty room to find a quiet mind. You carry the depths of the ocean within you everywhere you go. But sinking into this stillness often brings us face to face with the exact emotional triggers we have spent years trying to avoid. And this is where the next truth begins. 7. Meeting our triggers with gentle observation. What if the things that frustrate you the most are actually your greatest teachers? Here is the truth few people want to face. We spend our entire lives trying to carefully avoid the people, places, and situations that bring out our worst emotions. When a loved one misunderstands us, when a colleague takes credit for our hard work, or when someone simply ignores our boundaries, we instantly build a wall. A sudden heat rises in our chest. We feel the sharp sting of being unvalued. We label these moments as toxic or unfair. We spend immense energy trying to control our environment so we never have to feel that sudden, uncomfortable rush of anger or inadequacy. We think that by avoiding these triggers, we are protecting our peace. But avoiding pain is not the same as healing it. Buddhist wisdom teaches something profoundly different. Buddhism reminds us that our strongest emotional reactions are simply arrows pointing directly toward our deepest attachments. When we practice mindfulness, we learn the art of gentle observation. Instead of pushing the uncomfortable feeling away, we are invited to lean in and look at it closely, without judgment. We begin to understand that the external event is not the real cause of our suffering. The event merely knocked on a door that was already locked inside us. Imagine a beautiful, overgrown garden, hidden in the tall grass. Our thick, sharp thorns. If you walk through the grass blindly and step on a thorn, the pain is sudden and piercing. Your first instinct is to yell, to curse the thorn, and to swear you will never walk in that garden again. You blame the thorn for your pain. But the thorn did not attack you. It was simply resting there, hidden in the places you had forgotten to tend. To walk freely again, you do not need to burn the garden down. You only need to kneel in the dirt, observe where the sharp edges are, and gently pull the roots up into the light. In our daily lives, these hidden thorns are our deep-seated fears. The fear of not being enough, the fear of being left behind, the fear of losing control. When a partner is distracted and forgets a promise, we step on the thorn of rejection. When we make a small mistake and someone points it out, we step on the thorn of perfectionism. We lash out at the person, entirely convinced they caused our pain. But they only revealed the sharp edge of an old wound we had been ignoring. Ask yourself, think about the last time you felt a sudden, overwhelming wave of anger over something relatively small. What was the actual root of that pain? Were you truly upset by the words that were spoken, or were you secretly terrified of feeling invisible? What are you still holding on to? The next time you feel that sharp, defensive wall go up, do not immediately fight back, pause, breathe. Become a gentle observer of your own mind. Ask yourself quietly, what is actually hurting right now? Let the uncomfortable feeling rise, but look at it with deep compassion instead of anger. Treat the sudden frustration not as an enemy to be destroyed, but as a frightened part of yourself that simply needs to be seen, because you do not need to run from your own emotional wounds anymore. You can look at them softly and finally let them heal. But understanding this gentle observation leads us to the final, quiet realization about the life we have been seeking all along. And this is where the final truth begins. 8. The true meaning of a simpler life. What if the simpler life you have been desperately searching for has been quietly waiting for you all along? In the beginning, we talked about a strange and painful contradiction, the deep, aching exhaustion of craving a quiet mind, yet panicking the second we are given an empty space. We ran from the silence. We filled every crack of our existence with noise, screens, and endless busywork, secretly terrified of what we might feel if we simply stopped moving. But you do not have to run anymore. We have seen how the fear of empty space keeps us trapped in a cage of our own making. We have learned that constant, frantic motion does not bring safety. It only deepens our exhaustion. We have seen how easily we shoot the second arrow into our own hearts, letting tiny, insignificant frustrations steal our center. And, most importantly, we have discovered the profound, quiet strength that lives inside the sacred pause. The absolute freedom of taking just one honest breath before reacting to the changing winds of the world. Buddhist wisdom reminds us that a simpler life is not a physical destination. It is not an isolated cabin in the woods. It is not an empty calendar, and it is certainly not a life entirely free of loud people or daily problems. True simplicity is an internal posture. It is the daily practice of non-attachment. It is the deep, grounded trust that you do not need to manage the universe, fix every misunderstanding, or frantically fill every quiet moment with distraction. Imagine an ancient, towering tree standing right in the center of a bustling, noisy city. All around it, the traffic roars. The wind violently shakes its branches. The changing seasons force its beautiful leaves to wither and fall. Yet, the tree does not try to stop the traffic. It does not fight the heavy wind. It does not desperately cling to the dead leaves. It simply roots deeper into the dark, quiet earth. It allows the noise of the world to exist around it, while quietly maintaining its own steady presence. You can be like that tree. You can walk through this loud, demanding modern world with a mind that is clear, spacious, and deeply anchored. Ask yourself, how much lighter would your days feel if you finally stopped carrying the weight of everything you cannot control? Think about the peace that is available to you right now, in this exact moment, if you simply decide to stop fighting the reality of what is. You no longer have to thrash against the rough current of your own life. You do not have to nervously shake the glass of muddy water, trying to force it to be clear. You can just set the glass down. You can step back. You can let the mud settle entirely on its own. The next time a sudden frustration strikes, or your room grows uncomfortably quiet, you know exactly what to do. You do not need to reach for a screen. You do not need to defend your pride. Pause. Breathe. Feel your feet on the solid ground. Let the world be exactly as it is, without needing to fix it, judge it, or escape it. You have everything you need to meet this moment with grace. You can let go now. If these lessons touched your heart, share this video with someone who may need a little more peace today. Peace was never outside of you.